Please welcome David Simon. Good to see you again, David. Thanks for coming back.
Yes. Whoa. There we go. I was in an echo there for a second. Hey, echo. You like that? Oh, okay. It's the WWE Raw review show. We just watched Raw. It's Monday, November 22nd. Raw just took place in Brooklyn. A fan attacked Seth Rollins. We have new tag team champions. We have a new 24/7 champion. And the egg, the mysterious egg, has been recovered.
We could use that sometimes. We could use that sometimes.
like the effect. It's not bad.
God has spoken. God has spoken.
Oh, it's pretty good. I got different effects we could use.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. Should we do it all in echo? I don't know.
I think that'd probably wear thin after a while.
Yeah, you're probably right. What else do I have? What's this? What's this? What's this? What's this?
Oh.
Whoa. Hey.
Yeah, I'm in space. It's freaky, man. Mario.
Okay,
All
we
right.
could do this all night,
Yeah.
and we really probably should talk about wrestling, right? This is not good.
Yeah, wrestling.
We shouldn't just play with the effects and act like idiots
as
for the
fun
whole
as
show.
that may be.
Hey, everybody. We got Ryan Katz watching us. We got Brian Firth watching us. We got Franco 316. We got Lord and Cote St. Luke. We got Anthony Plesia. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Don't forget to become a member. Join.ringsidereport.net is what you got to do. Big episode of Raw tonight. Not, like a good episode of Raw. I didn't think that it was particularly great on the wrestling side. There were some hits and misses. Tough to find a match of the night. I'd say probably Sami Zayn and Damian Priest. I'd say those two guys probably had the best match. Big E and Austin Theory was not the best. In ring, not so much happened. But as far as story advancing and crazy stories like Seth Rollins getting attacked by a fan, it was a pretty eventful Raw. It wasn't.
There were developments.
Yeah, like you sat there and you're kind of bored for a lot of it, but then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait a second. They just make Carmella and Zelina the new tag team champions, which they did. Carmella and Zelina beat Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash, and they are the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions.
Big deal. And, a nice thing, usually when wrestlers are around their hometown, they don't win. But these two ladies, both from the tri-state area, getting a big win in Brooklyn tonight.
Just get a little bit low. Uh-oh. Let's bring the echo back. I think it was better.
That better?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Yeah. Big win in Brooklyn for these two.
It was nice for them to
local
get
ladies.
a win in their hometown, right? Carmella and Zelina both from New York. I think Carmella might be from.
I mean,
Is
her
she
character's
from
from
New
Staten
Jersey?
Island.
Staten Island, that's New York.
But I think, like the lady might be from like Connecticut or something like that.
Yeah, but
which is tri-state area.
That's basically
NYNJCT.
New York. She's born in Spencer, Massachusetts. I don't know where that is.
Probably not far away from major
guess.
metropolitan areas.
Anyways, she's billed as from New York. We know that Zelina is legitimately from New York. And Zelina looked really emotional after the win. It was like a big deal for her. I think it's her first championship that she's won in the WWE, right? She hasn't won any titles at any point throughout her entire career. This is the first belt she's won. I mean, Carmella's been the champion before. I think SmackDown Women's Champion it was. And, Zelina hasn't held anything. So for her to get this in her hometown after becoming the Queen of the Ring or whatever she is, Queen's Crown winner of the tournament, this is a big deal for Zelina. And she looked legit emotional. It was nice to see her get this win. I don't think you're supposed to like seeing Zelina win because she was a heel, but I liked it. It was a real moment. You saw Zelina really celebrating and really happy about it, so I thought that was all right. They get the win over Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash. The match itself, wasn't anything spectacular. Carmella super kicked Rhea's head into the ring post, and then she super kicked Nikki when the ref was distracted, which allowed Zelina to hit her finishing move, the Code Red, for the win.
It's a nice story, too, for Zelina, especially in a time when there's been so many releases. Here's Zelina. She left the company under, pretty, acrimonious circumstances over Twitch. And then, she comes back and it doesn't look like they're doing much with her. It looks like she'll probably be let go again. But, it shows that they have some confidence in her if they've given her a championship run.
Yeah.
You know,
And when she
Rhea
came
and Nikki
back-
could have retained easily this match.
When she came back, she was getting jobbed out big time, and now all of a sudden, you know, she's winning matches, winning a tournament, and tag team champion, winning in her hometown.
People were cutting promos on her, saying like, "What are you doing here? You should go back home, you know, and like stay home like you were doing, you know," and like really kind of like, you know, shooty kind of promos on her. It didn't seem like she was getting any over, and now she's the queen's crown, and she's got this accent. Now she's got belts.
Yeah.
It's been you know, it's like it's one of the few uplifting stories in the WWE in this year.
Yeah, it's kind of nice for Zelina. You know, you're happy to see her get this, and but at the same time, it hasn't been particularly good. Like you're like, yeah, she's got an accent now. Yeah, she's got this stupid British accent now. She's trying to do like a King Booker gimmick, and it's not really working. And her tag team partner is Carmella, and the match itself wasn't, you know, great. I like Zelina, but just what's happening with Zelina, it's not.
That's true, but
Yeah.
she has some confidence from the front office.
The problem is, it's not supposed to be an uplifting story. She's a heel. I get what you're saying,
Yeah.
and I feel it too. It's nice for Zelina. I'm happy for her, but we're supposed to dislike her.
Well, we could feel bad then, because it seems like things aren't going to bode well for Nikki ASH. You know, like she wasn't a part of the Survivor Series team. Becky Lynch in her promo tonight mentioned Rhea Ripley as a possible challenger to her. Didn't mention Nikki.
Nope.
Nikki took the pinfall tonight,
Yup.
and you
Not
know,
looking good.
it doesn't seem like they'll stick together as a team, Rhea and Nikki, after this. It seems like they'll go their separate ways, and that doesn't bode well for Nikki, especially if she keeps the superhero gimmick.
Yep. It doesn't look good for Nikki whatsoever. I think it's, you know, we'll see what happens with Nikki going forward. But, yeah, I agree with you. I think that they split them up now, and Rhea goes solo, and Rhea becomes a legit threat for Becky and has some really good matches with Becky, which I'm not opposed to at all. I'm kind of happy that Rhea and Nikki are getting split up because I think both of them are worth more by themselves, especially Rhea. Like, Rhea is a top star on the brand, and she was kind of lost in the mix as tag team champion. You get those belts off of her, and now she can do something. So I'm happy with that. Let's get to Seth Rollins. I think the Seth Rollins thing is really the big story of the night. Seth Rollins got attacked by a fan.
Barrier breaking news.
I mean, it wasn't his match or whatever that was with Finn Balor. So Seth Rollins cuts a promo in the ring about how he won Survivor Series last night, and the crowd was singing his theme, which I thought was kind of cool. That was kind of a nice moment there during his promo. The crowd into Seth's song, yeah, you know, the you know that thing?
It's all right. I think WWE fans also just want those AEW moments of just singing along to the theme song, so they're just trying to find it where they can.
Wrestling fans like to chant and sing along to shit. It's not AEW. It's
No, but
wrestling fans.
but
it's
like
what we
WWE
do.
doesn't give fans many opportunities to chant along or sing along.
People were doing it to Sami Zayn's song back in the day.
Back in the day.
Shinsuke's song as well.
Yeah.
That was pre-AEW.
Yeah.
All right. They did it for Shinsuke before they did it for Jericho. Seth cuts a promo in the ring about how he won, and then he says Kevin Owens turned his back on the team, and Bobby Lashley got counted out, and Austin Theory wasn't good enough, and Finn Balor, well, he just got taken out by Sheamus. And then Finn Balor shows up, and then they brawl. Seth and Finn just like brawled around the ring and in the ring, and then eventually Seth gained control, hit Finn with the ring steps, and then hit the curb stomp on him and walked away from the ring. So I think they were supposed to have a match, but they didn't have a match. They just kind of fought each other. So I guess Seth and Finn are doing something now, although it seemed like Seth won a match a few weeks ago it was like was it a four-way?
I think so.
It was like a four-way, right? That
Finn,
Seth won.
Kevin, Seth, and Austin Theory?
I don't remember. It doesn't really matter. Because we know that Seth won a title match, opportunity match on Raw. Like, he's earned a title
It was
shot.
a ladder match, wasn't it?
It was a ladder match. Yeah.
It was a good match. It was,
I don't remember who the fourth guy was.
yeah.
Maybe somebody in the chat will tell us.
Riddle? No.
I'm seeing people in the chat. Angelo's
Randy?
in the chat.
Was it Randy?
Ray Cruz is in the chat. It may have been Randy. Doug Hepburn is in the chat. Shout out to everybody watching right now. But the point, it doesn't matter who was in the match, because the point is Seth Rollins is a title challenger right now. He has earned a title shot, but they're not giving it to him. He's not like getting the match. He's kind of doing other things. He seems to be feuding with Finn Balor. Meanwhile, Kevin Owens seems to be the main feud for Big E right now, especially when we get to the end of Raw, which we'll get to here in a minute. But it seems like Kevin Owens and Big E are doing something right now, and Seth, whatever title shot he earned, is just going to be delayed and given to him maybe on that pay-per-view on January 1st. Like, we may wait for this Seth Rollins thing at this point until January.
Yeah, that seems likely. And
they do Kevin Owens in the meantime.
Little mini feuds.
Yeah. So Seth Rollins leaves after his Finn Balor thing, and he's on the way up the ramp. And the camera is on Seth as he marches up the ramp. And a fan double leg takes him down, tackles him to the ground. Seth is down. Seth tries to grab like a front headlock. And I posted a video of this on my Twitter, but I don't think I can show it to you here because it was from the WWE show. And they haven't posted it, and I'm sure they'll probably try to give us a copyright strike here on YouTube if I show you that.
Yeah, probably.
But what I can show you is fan video, which I think is more interesting because the Seth Rollins attack on TV was very brief. Like, you saw the fan run in, and the announcers kind of reacted for a second like, whoa, and then they shut up about it. The camera cuts to Finn, and it just stays on Finn while security and everybody deals with the fan who just ran and attacked Seth. But this attack lasted a lot longer than what we saw on TV. Now, you can follow me at Dave Simon MMA on Twitter to see what you saw on TV. WWE's not going to take my Twitter thing down, but they might mess with the YouTube. So I can't show you the... Or maybe I can, just in a small thing. What do you think? No? Too shaky? All right, let's not do it. I'll
probably go for a fan cam.
Let's not do it. We'll show the fan cam because the fan cam is what happens after, and it seems to be the fan attacking Seth and, like, doing well.
Yeah, this is...
Like that's...
Not to encourage anyone to do this, but this seems like the most successful fan attack. You know, as far as, like, being able to show up the wrestler.
So when we cut, this is where we are, right? The fan kind of jumps on Seth, and Seth tries to grab a front headlock, but look at his techniques.
Yeah, his legs.
Look at his legs. That's not a butterfly guard attempt right here. There's no butterfly guard. He grabs a front headlock, the guillotine attempt, but he doesn't attempt to pull full guard here, which is a huge mistake from Seth Rollins. Seth needs to either use his calves, right, or not his shins to get in on this guy's crotch and flip him over, which is called a butterfly sweep, right? He could butterfly him, or you wrap your legs around his torso and lock them, which is the full guard, and it keeps him in control. But Seth does not do this, which is a little bit disappointing in the way that he handled this. A little disappointed in the way Seth Rollins deals with this fan as he attacks him. Like, okay, you get blindsided, you get taken down. But once you're down, come on. And look, it's 2-on-1, and Seth is still in trouble, getting kicked. Seth is just laying on his side. The time that it takes him to get to his knees and then get to his feet is ridiculous. And then he's yelling at the guy, doesn't go to kick him, doesn't attack him, just yells at him. Security ushers the guy away, and Seth is just yelling at him. There's Michael Hayes in the back just looking. Apparently Becky Lynch came out too from Gorilla. There's Becky looking at the end. Look at Seth. He's not doing well here.
Yeah, that referee has more control than anyone.
Seth has no control on this guy. And look at this terrible fighting ability here from Seth. Look at him. Look at him here. He's in no man's land. He doesn't know where he is. Did Seth amateur wrestle? What's going on? Why does he have no skills? Look, he doesn't grab the guy's leg or nothing. He's just getting kicked in the face.
He's just like, get me out of here. Get me out of here.
Terrible technique from Seth. This guy needs to do less CrossFit and more Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Terrible technique. Very disappointing. Also, fans should not be attacking wrestlers. But lucky for the fan, he attacked a wrestler who cannot fight for shit.
And,
right? Like, Seth looked terrible there. He looks awful. Come on, Seth. You got to look a little better than that. You got to be able to beat that guy up. Seth was not able to beat that guy up tonight. I was a little disappointed. The fan did very well there on Seth. Also, fans should not be jumping the barricade to attack the wrestlers. That's very stupid. And it's also just
so many reasons.
It's a horrible thing to do. Excuse me. But the WWE says, they take the safety of their performers very seriously, and the fan, is going to be taken by the NYPD and taken care of, and he's going to be, charged with whatever. So the guys, it's not a smart thing to do. You're going to be charged with possible assault. Who knows? This guy could do jail time for this. It's a terrible thing to do.
You're forever banned.
You're banned forever, and it's a dick thing to do to Seth Rollins, who doesn't deserve this. I mean, he's just doing his job, entertaining a crowd, walking up the ramp, doesn't expect to be blindsided by some jabroni fan. It's shameful actions. The guy really should not have done that, and I wish that Seth was able to beat him up a little bit more. But I think Seth should be pleased that he's able to elicit that type of reaction from the crowd. Seth Rollins is one of the top heels in professional wrestling, and the fact that people are so angry at Seth that they feel the need to jump the barricade and attack him shows that, possibly he's got a lot of heat. People really dislike this guy and they want to fight him. Shocking.
Yeah, he's technically he's doing his job right.
Yeah.
I mean, as far, I mean, that's
you should
technically an unintended consequences. You want someone, trying to get over the barriers, but in those rare cases, like the big security laps there too. Usually, if someone tries to climb the barrier, especially like on the ramp around there, there's like tons of security. There's probably cops around there, and wrestling agents and whatever who are kind of buff and could spot say, hey, someone's climbing, let's stop him. But that guy got a clear, he jumped and tackled Seth Rollins. Yeah, he got a good jump on him.
He was right there out of nowhere, and no one was there to stop him. It was not good. It was really bad.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
I mean, the worst one I've ever seen of those was when Eddie Guerrero was climbing a ladder, and a fan in an Edmonton Oilers jersey comes in and pushes the ladder while Eddie's climbing it.
Yeah.
And Eddie, thankfully, lands on his feet. But I just remember that, the ref is holding the fan down, and Eddie just goes to that fan and gives him such a stiff punch.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, totally rightful, justified, but you don't do that.
There was one where Triple H and Austin are wrestling, and Austin just beats the shit out of the guy, and then I think Triple H gets in on it and also starts beating the shit out of the guy. That was pretty good.
Yeah, Austin got some good stomps in.
Yeah. Or of course when Bret Hart, also in Brooklyn at the Hall of Fame a couple of years ago, got attacked by that stupid fan.
Yeah.
And that's not heat, that's just some crazy guy. Why attack Bret Hart? Some guy attacks Bret Hart, and the Revival guys beat the shit out of that guy pretty good. So
yeah, Cash Wheeler, I think, gave that guy a good stiff knockout blow.
But I don't know where this guy came from. It's weird because it seems like he came from maybe in front of the one of the back rows on the floor. I don't know where exactly he came from because he was just on the floor. You didn't see him jump the barricade or anything. It was.
It's possible this guy is a bit of an athlete too, if he's able to jump so fluidly.
He was able to jump and take Seth down and do all right on top of him. But, I mean, Seth got blindsided, so it's not his fault. But I was a little disappointed that he didn't, in the moment, pull guard. He did the right thing of grabbing the front headlock, but then he didn't do anything with it. Disappointing. He's supposed to be a world champion wrestler. I expect him to be able to... Like, if a guy came and took him down or whatever, I mean, the guy's not in great shape. You know, you saw the guy. He didn't look that athletic, especially compared to Seth. I would expect Seth Rollins to be able to kind of handle that guy on his own without any problem. Unfortunately, what happened was he wasn't able to handle that guy on his own, and the referee and then a couple other referees and all the security had to jump in and save Seth. He had to be saved, which, Jim Ross, no, you don't see that very often. Jim Ross always talks about, in a Bill Watts territory, right? Bill Watts
Cowboy Bill Watts.
He opened that door, right? And, brother, he came out a shining light when you worked with Bill Watts, okay? Let me tell you something. Cowboy Bill Watts, if his wrestlers got into a bar fight, it was fine as long as they won. You know what happened if they lost? Fired from the territory. Seth Rollins just lost a fight to a fan. Seth Rollins lost that fight. Fired. I mean, I wouldn't fire Seth for that. I feel bad for Seth. But if that was Kurt Angle, that guy would have been fucked up real quick. Kurt Angle would have smashed that guy. You come and try to take Kurt Angle down. First of all, you're not going to be able to move those legs. His hips are going to be too strong. Second of all, I mean, he's going to maul you really fast. And, do that to Brock Lesnar. Do that to a guy who can actually defend himself. It was really
even
disappointing.
Bryan
Danielson would smash a guy. Even CM Punk most likely would do a little bit better. I was disappointed to see Seth Rollins do so poorly in that exchange. I really was. I was like, damn, Seth, come on, get some control. What the? And then, the guys save him, all the goons save him, and then he's, talking trash. He's like, I guess you could say, back in the heel persona, but he's not. He's calling him a motherfucker,
Yeah, that was.
And it's not on screen. That was Kobe Lopez, yeah.
That was his adrenaline.
And it was like, okay, well.
You're not that tough.
Whoa, that he kind of looks like a little bitch. He gets taken down by the fan. The fan's all over him. Security saves him, and he's like, "Yeah, that's right. Yeah, not so tough now." And it's like, Seth, you're supposed to be like a pro wrestler, man. You're supposed to be tough. I was disappointed that he had such little ability.
Yeah. Didn't even try to land a blow on the guy.
Nothing. Yeah, he didn't even jump the guy after.
And he, do you want to get into the what he said? I mean, what he called him, or does it matter?
Well, yeah, we could say he said something. He called him boy. He said, "Yeah, boy," and the guy was an African American guy, and a white guy calling an African American guy boy has a certain connotation. And Seth Rollins went right to boy, which I thought was a little bit. It was an odd choice. Conor McGregor got into some trouble for calling Floyd Mayweather boy during their press conference stuff. And, I mean, Seth Rollins is not going to get into any trouble because the fan was in the wrong. But,
wasn't caught on their mics.
It was on that fan video that you saw. Seth Rollins clearly calling that guy a boy. And, he could take some heat for that, possibly. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he does, but it's borderline, definitely. I'll tell you, Seth did not look good in this fan attack. From my perspective, he looked slightly racist and shitty at fighting. That's not good.
Yeah, that's a double whammy.
When a fan attacks you, you're supposed to look cool. Fan attacks you, and then you're supposed to show, oh, I'm real tough. You're just a fan. I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And then Seth looks cool because he beat the shit out of a guy who's trying to attack him, unprovoked and blindsided. But instead, he kind of gets beat up by the guy. The guy gets jumped by the security, and then Seth talks trash and also says boy, which is a little off. It's like, wow. Seth did not look good in this whole exchange. Did not look good. Yeah. So that was the big story of Raw, I think.
Yeah, that was a
Seth
big
Rollins
segment.
getting attacked by a fan. Seth Rollins attacked by a fan. That is the top story of Monday Night Raw tonight. Also, Vince's egg. Vince's golden egg, right? That was another story. Vince McMahon in his office to start the show with Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville. He's unhappy Sorry. Just like almost threw up there. Talking about this egg shit. It's making me sick. Vince says The Rock gave him the egg. And he's like, oh, he gave me the egg. It was a great gift. He probably owed it to me. And it's like, what was that line? He probably owed it to me.
Because I made him.
Because I made him. He owes me big time. He owes me his life. It was a weird little throwaway line from Vince. It's $100 million egg. The Rock gave it to me. Probably owes it to me. It's like, what? And then Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, they got no answers for Vince. And Vince is mad, and he mumbles through another one of these weird promos where he says if he doesn't have the egg on his desk by the end of the night, Sonya and Adam will both be fired. Sonya says that they have grainy surveillance footage of someone with a bare chest and bare legs, but they don't know who it was who took the egg. And Vince says, well, it could be a woman. And I was like, what? And then Sonya's like, yeah, it could be a woman. Yeah. It was a really weird thing. It was like, what do you mean? Why would a woman come into your office bare-chested to steal your egg? Why are you imagining? Oh, you hear about somebody bare-chested. Could be a woman. And Sonya's like, yeah, it could be a woman. I think that was Vince ad-libbing and Sonya having to go with it and everybody being too scared to say, what?
What are you talking about?
What do you mean? What? Yeah, we have grainy surveillance footage, Vince. Somebody with a bare chest and bare legs. Oh, it could be a woman. Like, what is going through his mind right now? You say bare chest, and Vince just thinks titties, like he's crazed. It was a very strange line from Vince. A couple strange, like the could be a woman and the probably owed it to me line.
And the way he phrased the
title match.
The title match, he's like, the person who finds the culprit who stole the egg will get an opportunity to be WWE champion when they face Big E tonight. Or not even when, like and they'll face Big E tonight. Like,
yeah.
It was like weird.
It was very strange. It was convoluted the way he got to it, and I wasn't sure he was saying what he was saying. So basically he said, whoever brings me the egg will get a title match with Big E tonight. But
it
then,
was like,
but then you had like all the wrestlers backstage just tearing up, the backstage area looking for this egg. But it was men and women. Why? Rhea Ripley was there. Was Rhea Ripley gonna get a shot at Big E? Maybe. I don't understand. I guess it was up to anybody.
Pretty good match.
But what if Michael Cole happened to find the egg?
Yeah,
he doesn't want a title match.
At first, I felt like Vince was tasking Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville to find the egg. So what? Like Sonya Deville's gonna wrestle Big E, or Adam Pearce?
It was very strange.
Vince. These days, to borrow a line from Big E's singlet, Vince is a low talker.
Big E's old singlet. He had Seinfeld-inspired gear last night at Survivor Series. Tonight, Big E had Festivus, more specific Seinfeld, one episode.
The Strike.
Festivus.
Season 9.
There you
Episode
go.
12.
Oh, jeez. Festivus-inspired gear, which I thought was very cool. We could maybe... I don't know if we have pictures of it, but it was very cool. So Vince wants his $100 million egg back, and the wrestlers are tearing apart the backstage area looking for the egg. And Sami Zayn is in Vince's office, and he says he knows who took the egg, but the person isn't here. And he'll bring the person to Vince, and then he'll get the championship match. And Vince is like, yeah, all right. And then Vince is in his office with Sonya Deville, and we go to commercial. And then we come back, and Adam Pearce and Sami Zayn are also there for some reason. And then Austin Theory shows up, and he's holding the egg. And he explains to Vince that he borrowed the egg to take a selfie and then got nervous, so he took it back to his hotel with him. But he wants to give the egg back, which doesn't really make sense. Like, Austin Theory, you have a $100 million egg. Nobody knows where it is. Nobody knows that you took it. So why don't you just keep it and sell it, for, say, $75 million? I think you could probably sell it to some greasy character for $75 million if it's worth $100 million. And I would bet, I would guarantee that there's no way in hell Austin Theory makes $75 million working for the WWE. So take the money and run, Austin Theory. What the hell are you doing giving the egg back to Vince for a title shot? Who cares? Also, you lost.
Huge botch. Major
botch by Austin Theory. He's not only obsessed with selfies, he's also a terrible guy with money. He's really stupid with money. Should have just kept the egg. But he gives the egg back to Vince so that he can get his championship match. But no, I guess because he explains to Vince that he stole the egg, and Sammy's like, oh, well, see, I told you it was this guy. Give me the match. And Vince is like, no, I like this.
Yeah.
It took balls to steal the egg, and I like your style.
It reminds me of me.
Yeah, and you remind me of me, so I'm going to give you a title match tonight because you're so cool. And I was like, what? This guy stole your egg, Vince.
Boys will be boys.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, you're cool. I like you. You stole the egg. It's fine. Uh-oh. Something just happened? Are we still going? I think we're still going. Just got an error. I got an error message, but I think we're all right.
Okay.
Something about disk space. That's not good. All right. We got the team working on it. The team's going to work on it.
I think the team is in.
So Sami Zayn is very mad that Vince is giving the title shot to Austin Theory, which makes sense because why would he give the title shot to Austin Theory? And Vince tells Sami to shut up, and nobody likes a snitch. Sami would get a match, though. Sami, for some reason, on Raw, wrestling on Raw, even though he's on SmackDown. He was there for the egg hunt, and he stayed to wrestle Damian Priest, which was a strange way of getting to that. Commander Aziz comes out, cuts a promo with Apollo Crews. First it was Aziz talking, which he never talks. All of a sudden he's talking.
That was strange.
And he's got the accent too. And he's cutting the promo for Apollo Crews, and then Apollo talks some, but he doesn't want to answer the U.S. title open challenge that Damian Priest has here. Damian Priest is letting anybody challenge him for the belt. Apollo Crews shows up but doesn't want to answer the challenge. But he does seem to want to feud with Damian Priest, so I don't really understand that.
Yeah, that's strange.
And then Sami Zayn shows up, and he's like, oh, I proved that there's a conspiracy against me, and it goes all the way to the top to Vince McMahon, which he didn't really, because Austin Theory was the one that brought the egg. I don't know if Sami Zayn was the one that discovered it was Austin Theory. That wasn't clear, right?
Yeah, and it's not really a conspiracy. It's just Vince doesn't like him.
Yeah, Vince just doesn't like Sami, which makes sense. So Sami shows up, and he wants the U.S. title match, and it's given to him for some reason because Apollo doesn't want it. I don't know why we had to sit through an Apollo and Commander Aziz and Damian Priest promo if eventually the match was Damian Priest and Sami Zayn. That whole segment was really weird.
I guess because Sami is a guest star. Going forward, it'll be Apollo.
Yeah.
Next week it'll be Apollo and Damian.
I guess.
Forward and
talking
about his anger face and all that.
Yeah, but it was just like if Apollo doesn't like Damian Priest and he wants the U.S. title, and Damian Priest has the U.S. title open challenge, why not just accept? He was there first. Sami comes in. He's like, oh, if you don't want it, I'll take it. It's like, well, why don't you want it?
Heels never want to do a championship match right here, right now. It's always, oh, no, next week. And then boo.
That's true. Damian Priest winds up beating Sami Zayn with a chokeslam after his a chokeslam and his crossroads thing, whatever they call it. Got the pinfall to retain the U.S. title against Sami Zayn, which was never in doubt because, of course, Sami's a SmackDown wrestler and the U.S. title should stay on Raw. Sami was doing pretty well in the match. It was a good match. At one point, Sami grabbed the U.S. title, which seemed to upset Damian Priest, and he went crazy. He snapped, and then he started attacking Sami Zayn, unloading on offense, and then just beating him. So the Priest snapping thing is not great, but
it's over the top.
Yeah, but the match itself was probably the best in-ring match that we saw tonight. Because as far as wrestling goes, we didn't see much. We saw Riddle versus Dolph Ziggler, which was just kind of weird. We saw Bianca Belair versus Tamina. We saw AJ Styles and Omos against the Street Profits. Carmella and Zelina against Rhea and Nikki. Cedric Alexander against Reginald in a 24/7 title match that was eventually won by Dana Brooke. Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio losing to Bobby Lashley in a 2-on-1 handicap match.
That match sucked.
Yeah. Damian Priest beating Sami Zayn, and then Big E and Austin Theory in the main event. Like, I thought Priest and Zayn was the best, and it wasn't particularly amazing, but given what we had, Big E and Austin Theory wasn't great. Big E wins after Austin Theory is distracted by Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens arguing outside the ring. Why was Austin Theory so concerned with Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins?
And, like, he didn't even interact with them. He was just staring at them. It wasn't like he was like, hey, shut up, I'm wrestling. You know, like, showing, like, he's a bigger heel than both of them kind of thing. Like, he's the bigger, more annoying one. It was just, he was just looking at them kind of like, what's going on over there? And then he just turns around and gets hit with a big ending. It looks like, you know, like those guys were working for Big E. It's not been a good weekend for Big E's, like, standing in the, like, not standing, but just like his creative, like,
he doesn't
ranking.
look strong.
Yeah.
He doesn't look strong at all. He needs a distraction from Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens to beat Austin Theory. You couldn't just beat Austin Theory with your finish. You had to have him distracted so he could turn around into your finish. He's a WWE champion. He's Big E. Of course, he doesn't beat Roman Reigns, which, you know, would have helped. But the fact that he needed Seth and Kevin to distract to beat Austin Theory. Ouch. Think Roman Reigns would need a distraction to beat Austin Theory? Roman Reigns didn't need anything to beat Big E. Beat him clean.
Yeah.
You know? Come on, man. What is going on? The fact that Big E needed help was pretty sad. Big E then went after Seth and Kevin Owens for some reason after the match, even though they helped him win. He tossed Seth over the announce table, which was pretty good. And, I mean, rough night for Seth, right? He had a match. He got beat up by the fan. He got thrown over the announce table. And then Big E went after Kevin Owens, but Owens escaped, and then Rollins got right back in the ring to take a big ending from Big E. And then Kevin Owens and Big E were yelling at each other as the show ended, and Seth was just kind of forgotten. That match was not great. The finish was terrible. And, you know, Kevin Owens and Big E should be all right, but I think Kevin Owens is being used to be an opponent for Big E and just kind of lose to him at some point, which is fine. Big E needs that type of win. Should be clean, at least. He'll probably beat him without a distraction.
Probably, and to Kevin Owens' detriment. You know, like he's lower than Austin Theory.
I'm under the impression that Kevin Owens is on his way out of the WWE. That seems to be the impression that everybody's giving right now. Kenny Omega tweeted out something about Kevin Owens and how they wrestled before, and he beat Kevin, and I'm sure he wants a rematch down the road, you know, like...
Wink, wink.
Yeah, there's a lot being talked about with Kevin Owens right now, and it feels like he's headed towards AEW, but nothing's official, but just the vibe that I'm getting is that he's leaving WWE and going AEW, but...
Double or nothing in June, maybe?
I could be wrong, yeah, but I think... Well, sooner than that. I think probably sooner than that. You know, maybe even by, Revolution in February?
Yeah, you think? Because his contract will be up, so he could just walk and go.
Yeah, well, that's it. If your contract is up, you know, at, say, the end of January or something, you could show up the next day. Yeah. It's not like he'd be fired and had a no-compete clause. Like, if his contract is over, his contract is over. He's a free man. So we'll see. But... I'm feeling that Kevin Owens is leaving, and WWE is going to use him to put Big E over on the way out. Randy Orton in Gorilla doesn't know where Riddle is. Riddle shows up with a fake goatee, dressing like Randy Orton, and then cuts a promo like Randy Orton, which was probably the best promo of the night. Like, it was so funny.
Yeah, like
Becky's promo was really good too. I like
Becky's promo on Liv Morgan too backstage was quite good as well.
Becky was really good, but Riddle, this is how Riddle should act with Randy Orton. Not like his dumb lackey, not like his sidekick, but like a guy who's his friend, who's his equal. And, Randy's like, hey, you should be more like me. You should do what I do. And Riddle's like, yeah, sure, Randy. I'm just going to be exactly like you. So he cuts a promo like Randy. He's dressed like Randy. He walks to the ring like Randy, to Randy's music. And he wrestles like Randy, beats Dolph Ziggler with the RKO. And at the end, Bobby Roode tried to attack Riddle, but Randy made the save and hit Riddle's finishing move, the Bro Derek, and then Riddle and Randy seem to be on the same page, on the same footing. They're not. There's not a a difference where Randy's up here and Riddle's down there. They're equals.
Like equals.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what they seem like tonight, which was nice because it has not felt like that for a long time.
No.
It was really not like that. Riddle was seeming really goofy. But by dressing up like Randy, I think he kind of changed the dynamic of the team, and I liked it. I liked the pivot with RK Bro. It gave them some new life, and we'll see what Riddle does going forward. But I think Randy respecting Riddle again is good for the team because Riddle just being this goofy guy that Randy is embarrassed to be around, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, they actually look like a team.
Yeah, that's it. Now they're looking like a team. Especially if they're dressed alike, especially with Riddle looks like Randy. I mean, they really look like a team.
It's not bad.
Becky Lynch with an in-ring promo I thought was really good. Becky talking about wanting to hurt Charlotte Flair last night in the match, and the people loved it. And she's like, yeah, of course you loved it. You didn't care about me or Charlotte or who walked out the winner or if either of us walked out at all. So I liked how she turned it around on the fans, She talks about beating Charlotte, but then quickly she's back to being a heel and saying, yeah, well, you people just wanted blood and you don't care about us. You don't care about me winning. You just wanted to see a war between me and Charlotte, and that's what we gave you. Good promo from Becky. She says now it's on to something fresh and new because the people love something fresh and new. She kind of rolls her eyes. Becky asking the fans if they want someone fresh and new on top. She mentions Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Liv Morgan. She says she doesn't really think that the fans want... She doesn't really think that the fans want something fresh and new. The fans don't really care about the women's matches. They don't really care about the other women on Raw. They were doing stupid chants and doing a stupid wave while the Survivor Series women's match was going on. She said this. Shitting on the fans for disrespecting the match. Which, it wasn't great, but hey, what are you going to do? Becky says none, but then she turns it around again, and she's like, actually, I don't blame you because none of those 10 women in that match are worth your time. They couldn't beat me. They're nothing compared to me. And she says Liv Morgan won't beat me, and not every underdog has their day, and no one's going to get this title off Big Time Bex. And then she just walked away. No one came out. Liv Morgan doesn't come out. Bianca doesn't come out. Nobody comes out to challenge Becky. She stands on top of the mountain, declares herself the best, and leaves. It was a very good promo from Becky Lynch, which was followed by an in-ring promo from Bianca Belair, who talks about how she won the Survivor Series match. It was 4-on-1, and then she came back and she won, and now she's the best. She's the EST and all that stuff. And then she talked about Doudrop at one point, and then she wrestled Tamina. Bianca Belair beats Tamina after a KOD, pins her. Natalya attacked Bianca after the match, but then Bianca kicked Natalya away pretty easily. But then Doudrop showed up and attacked Bianca, gave her a splash, and that was that. So the Bianca Doudrop thing is going on. It is continuing. So Bianca not going back to Becky right now, sticking with Doudrop. Becky now with Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan is going to get the next shot. She did earn a title shot, and we had a backstage promo. Liv Morgan was backstage getting interviewed, and Becky Lynch showed up. And she says, Liv under-delivered at Survivor Series once again. She's an embarrassment to Raw. She's an embarrassment to herself. Her two friends were embarrassed. She's an embarrassment to her two friends that aren't even here anymore, which I thought was a good line, right?
Yeah.
And she was just going hard at Liv Morgan. Her two friends aren't here anymore, of course, talking about the Riot Squad, Sarah Logan and Ruby Riot. Ruby Riot, of course, Ruby Soho now in AEW. Nice little line there from Becky. And Liv looked really sad, and she looked like she was going to cry.
Yeah.
And Becky was like, what, are you going to cry, Liv?
I don't think she's that good of an actress. I think that was legit.
She seemed like, because Becky was going really hard at Liv, and Liv had no response.
Yeah, because like they are friends, like the Riot Squad. I think she probably like truly does miss them.
Yeah, and Becky's like, you had your chance to win Money in the Bank, but you didn't win Money in the Bank. Instead, Nikki Ash won Money in the Bank, and then she won the championship that you'll never have. And when she said that, Liv looked sad, because I don't think Liv's taking it from Becky here, and I think Liv knows it. And Liv looked sad, and then Becky was mocking her for crying. And then Liv punched Becky, and that was the end of the segment. I thought it was good. Liv sold it well, and Becky, again, cuts a killer promo. She's so good. Big-time Bex. You got to love her. I wonder if she's going to bring back that ring gear from Survivor Series. Does she ever wear the red butt outfit again? Wild. All right. What else happened on Raw tonight? Anything else? New tag team champions, Carmella and Zelina. New 24/7 champion. So it was Cedric Alexander beating Reginald. He actually just beat Reginald, which was a little bit of a surprise.
Decisively.
Yeah, hit his finisher, then pinned him. So the match just ended, and Cedric won. And then, of course, the whole Job Squad shows up. Tozawa and a bunch of guys. Some SmackDown guys were there, too. I noticed Humberto Carrillo in the ring. He just joined in because he's like, I guess I'm here, so I'll do this tonight. Even though he's on SmackDown, he was going for the 24/7 title. And then Dana Brooke is on the top rope. She hits a neck breaker on Cedric and pins Cedric Alexander, which, and becomes the new 24/7 champion. And then Dana's surrounded by dudes who are all there trying to get the 24/7 title. But because she's a woman, they don't want to attack her, so they don't. And then Dana just poses with the belt, and the Job Squad looks confused. And Dana is the new 24/7 champion.
I feel like there have been women 24/7 champions.
Yeah.
Like,
it was that night when everybody...
Kelly was a 24/7 champion at one point at like a Raw reunion show.
Didn't Medusa win it too?
Yeah,
possibly?
and like a men rolled one of them up, presumably.
It may have been Pat Patterson. I don't know.
No, I think like...
Wasn't that the night when Pat Patterson won it and Gerald Briscoe won it too? It was that night where it was just getting passed around for everybody.
But...
Yeah, she's not
in a different segment.
She's not the first woman to win, but they handled it differently. None of the guys in that ring wanted to roll up Dana Brooke and take the belt
roll
from
up
her.
isn't like necessarily like it's not like they're like giving her a scoop slam,
I think this is just a pivot with the 24/7 title. They're making some changes. It's post Survivor Series. We're getting into some different things. We have new tag team champions. We're done with the Reginald thing. It's run its course. I mean, how long are we going to watch Reginald flip and fly away from his opponents? I think the Reginald thing is nearly done, and don't be surprised if Reginald is on the next list of cuts, right? So I think that this is just a move in a different direction with the 24/7 title, which you kind of need, and we'll see what Dana Brooke does with it, but I can tell you that this was a big deal for Dana Brooke. The 24/7 title is looked at as a complete joke, but tonight for Dana Brooke, it was like winning a world championship. This is Natty Neidhart tweeting tonight. Every woman in our locker room tonight met Dana Brooke to celebrate her big win. I'm so happy for you. And there's Natty and Dana posing with the 24/7 title. Look how happy they are. Look how happy Dana is. Every woman in the locker room met Dana Brooke, in Gorilla to celebrate after she won that belt.
I mean,
everyone, according to Natty. And
she's a survivor, Dana Brooke.
Yeah, she's been through a lot.
Like, she's had an interesting career. She came in, I think she was recruited from the bodybuilding scene, and she was had a rocket strapped to her in NXT. It looked like she was going to dominate NXT. And then, like, I think Nia came in and took a lot of her thunder. And also, she obviously wasn't that... She was, like, pretty green. But she still got put on the main roster pretty quick. And it didn't work out on the main roster. I remember when she was, like, the manager for, like, Titus O'Neil's, like, group. And you remember that?
Yeah.
It was, like, Titus and, like, some other guy. And it looked like...
Apollo Crews.
Yeah, Apollo Crews. It looked like they were all going to get fired together.
Yeah.
And they're all technically still with the company. But, good for Dana. She stuck it in. She, I guess, kept trying. She had that tag team with Mandy Rose, and Mandy Rose is back in NXT.
She's a champion.
Yeah, she's found success there. But who knows if Dana would have, if she was sent back down, they probably would have fired her outright, instead of sending her back down to NXT.
And she's cut a bunch of promos throughout the years, like I need my chance and I want to get my opportunity and I really want this.
Trying to start fan campaigns and wasn't there like a thing like didn't like Dana Brooke fans attack you once or something?
No, I tweeted something about Dana Brooke getting a win. And the tweet went crazy. Like, I got like a million retweets on it. It was like nuts.
Of like Dana Brooke fan,
and it was
Twitter
like
accounts.
Dana Brooke fan Twitter accounts, a bunch of them. So she has a lot of online support. And as Angelo says, it's her first title win in WWE. So that's a pretty big deal. Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. So I'm happy for Dana Brooke. A lot of people may see this as meaningless because it's the 24/7 title and it's been treated like a joke and whatever. But it was a shift in direction. They're giving something to Dana Brooke, and she's wanted this for a very long time. She's wanted something, This is something that she can sink her teeth into. They're going to do an angle with Dana Brooke on Raw, and this is big for her. And the fact that Natty, tweeted that out, that every woman in the locker room was there to meet Dana Brooke when she came through the curtain, like, it's a big deal. It shows you that it means something for the performers. So it's, it's important. So I was happy about that. Good for Dana. Not so good for Dominic and Rey Mysterio. They got beat up by Bobby Lashley tonight. That match took forever. Too long.
It's like a 2-segment match.
Too long. Yeah, they did like at least a commercial break or two during that match. It took forever. It's a 2-on-1 match, and Rey Mysterio with his son still can't beat Bobby Lashley. And it was mostly just Bobby beating up on Rey and Dominic. Like, Rey and Dominic had little spurts of offense here and there. It was mostly just Bobby on offense beating them up.
Just having fun with some toys.
Like, easily beating them up 2-on-1 until eventually he tossed Rey out of the ring, put Dominic in the hurt lock, and just made Dominic tap, and it was over. It seemed like Bobby could end the match at any point, just dominating the two Mysterios. It was just pathetic. I liked MVP's promo on Rey, saying, Rey, you're a legend in the business. You're such a great wrestler. You've done it all. But you're a terrible father because you're letting Dominic get in the ring with Bobby Lashley. What the hell's the matter with you? Which, he's letting his son pursue his dreams. You got to let your kids do what they want to do. Dominic wants to be a wrestler. And if you're going to be a wrestler, you are going to have to wrestle Bobby Lashley. All right, MVP? Deal with it. So that happened. Rey and Dominic lost to Bobby Lashley. We also saw AJ Styles and Omos get a win over the Street Profits by disqualification. Why were the babyfaces disqualified tonight? AJ Styles and Omos win when the Street Profits decide to take the fire extinguisher that was in the bag that they brought to the ring. They bring a bag to the ring, and you're like, what's in the bag?
Is it the egg?
Is it the egg? Is it more pizza from last night? Leftover Pizza Hut from your match or commercial Battle Royal, whatever that was.
More cups?
But instead, it is not cups. It is not the smoke. It is a fire extinguisher, which I guess is kind of like the smoke. Are they going to start using that? The foam. And they spray it at
foam home.
They spray it at Omos because it's just desperation at this point. They can't beat Omos, so they figure fire extinguish him to end this match, which I was happy the match ended because it wasn't very good. And then they fire extinguished AJ, and then they were on the stage trying to continue to spray the fire extinguisher, but it's clearly out of stuff, and they were just spraying nothing, and it looked dumb, and that was that.
They didn't even try to bludgeon him with the fire extinguisher.
Yeah, they didn't hit him with it at all. Not good.
Not good.
Like, a lot of shit on this show tonight was just, okay. You know?
And they were trying. They were trying to, like, new champions and Vince and...
Yeah.
But...
2 new champions, multiple Vince promos, But really what we're talking about is the fan that attacked Seth Rollins.
Mm-hmm. The thing that was not planned.
Seth Rollins' lack of guard game. He's got no guard at all.
Yeah.
Disappointing. Still disappointed.
Yeah, it's like if like Arnold Schwarzenegger, got to, like remember when someone like kicked Arnold Schwarzenegger in the back like a few years ago? Arnold Schwarzenegger was like making an appearance somewhere.
Yes.
And like someone like kicked him like square in the back. Like
he no-sold it.
And he went down and then got up, was like,
Yeah.
He's a quiet boy compared to me.
Yeah.
Like if Arnold, get him out of here. It's like, But no. Like Seth Rollins, like that's what I felt with Seth Rollins. Like it's like seeing an action star go like,
yeah,
I need my security. I can't.
Yeah, and then when security jumps on him, then he's like talking trash, like, yeah, that's what you get.
Not
like,
so
man.
tough now, huh? It's like,
ugh. No, when security gets him, you're like, oh, cool. Now I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. Kick him a couple times.
Hold him, boys.
Hold him down. Let me get some. Let me get in on that. Somebody attacks me and I'm blindsided and I can't get out, and then some people jump on him. I'm gonna jump on him too. I'll be like, yeah, he's gonna get a crack or two. Seth didn't crack at all. He just starts talking trash like he'd won a fight that he clearly was losing, and then had security jump in and save him.
And like,
he's supposed to be a pro wrestler.
Consequences, as far as I know, for attacking a fan, because when you go in there,
it's your fault.
You give up like so many like freedoms.
That's it. When you go in there, the wrestlers are allowed to beat you up.
Yeah,
that's the law. Seth didn't want none. I can't believe the way he acted in that instance. It was really un-pro wrestler-like of him. Very un-pro wrestler-like.
Yeah. What would Scott Hall think? How many times Scott Hall's been attacked in a WCW ring?
What would Stone Cold
And every
think?
single time he stomped the shit out of those guys.
Yeah.
I can't count. Like every time the NWO was on top, they'd be like spray painting a guy. You would just see like in the corner some fan trying to get into the ring, and Scott Hall just going there and just stomping the shit out of the guy.
Yeah, guys have had real heat, There's been real heat.
Jericho's been attacked many times.
Yeah, and he attacks back. People have been stabbed in pro wrestling. Fans have stabbed wrestlers. Fans have thrown cups of piss on wrestlers. Fans have done terrible things to wrestlers, and usually the wrestler gets some back or has to run away because, a riot's about to start. Like, these things happen. These things happen in pro wrestling. They shouldn't happen. The fans should not be stabbing or throwing piss. It's not something that I would do or I would recommend. You should not jump the barricade. It's a bad thing to do. I think, now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that you should not fight somebody. You should not physically attack somebody unless they consent to you physically attacking them. I think that, if you are to get into a physical confrontation, the other person should at least be ready.
I think rule of thumb.
Yeah, like, forget jumping over a barricade and attacking a man. I don't think you should attack a man when he's not expecting it. I think that is a bitch move. So that fan is a bitch, but Seth, I wish, could handle himself in those situations a little bit better.
Yeah.
Fan is a bitch for doing that, but Seth doesn't look really strong in that moment. And I'd prefer he looks stronger. I like my wrestlers to be able to handle themselves.
You should take a lesson.
Yeah. I was a little disappointed in Seth's performance tonight in that.
Not that impressed.
In that fight. Doug Hepburn dropping a super chat. He says, make Smiling Johnny image a t-shirt, please. All right, we can do that maybe. I don't know. I think we have to get Johnny's consent. He might be mad if we do that. But the Smiling Johnny picture would be a good t-shirt.
Well, maybe we do own his likeness in perpetuity.
I'm pretty sure I got him to sign that away at some point.
Yeah.
I hope.
Could do whatever we want with your name, John.
Get the lawyers on that. All right? Get the lawyers on that.
Get Lisa Arthur on it.
Good job. All right. The legal team is working in the background.
The legal eagles.
We got the legal team over there. We got the accountants over there. It's a big operation.
Oh, yeah.
You know about this. Not everybody knows. We got a whole firm.
Got a research and development team.
It's a massive operation. We got a lab as well where we do experiments. Why are we doing experiments? All we do is talk about wrestling. Because we're crazy. Because you never know when we might need to experiment. See? We got to experiment. If we're not experimenting, we never know about these things. You know what I'm saying? No, what I'm saying?
Make discoveries every day.
Making discoveries every day.
Well, it's like this every day here at Wrestling Uncensored.
Oh, yeah!
It's just the way that we do things around here.
When you live for the moment, there ain't no way to release. I like this. It's more fun. All right. I think we're done because we're just going to do this all night. What do I have here? I got one of the things.
You got another one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, one more. What's one more trick?
One more. What's this sound like? Whoa.
Oh.
Whoa. How about... Oh, that's not anything. Whoa. Huh. Hey.
Oh.
Yo.
Whoa.
Whoa, this is like echo.
Yeah, this is like right in my ears.
Hey now. Hoy. Hoya. Hey.
I am the voice in your head.
All right. Let's end the show like this. Angelo dropping a super chat. That was a bad move by the fan attacking Seth.
Bad move.
Bad move.
Any movie reviews?
Yeah.
I've seen some movies.
Movies. All right. This is fucking. All right. What have you seen?
Let's see. 2 weeks ago, I saw a couple movies. I saw Last Night in Soho, the new film from writer-director Edgar Wright.
Last Night in Ruby Soho? That sounds...
not quite.
Good God Almighty.
Yeah.
Last Night
you know Edgar Wright. You've seen Spaced.
I've seen it.
Yeah, Spaced.
I've been to
Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz.
I've been to space.
It's pretty good. Falls apart a bit in the third act.
Was it comedy or what?
It's like a
Space
psychological, not quite a horror film, but psychological. Do you want me to give you a synopsis?
Chinga. No, I'm good.
I also saw the new Wes Anderson movie, The French Dispatch.
Wes Anderson. He played guitar in Limp Bizkit, right?
Yeah. Yes, he did.
Okay.
Wearing a fancy scarf.
And
one has like a big ensemble cast.
Hold on, I'm gonna do guitar. All right. What?
It was pretty good.
Angelo drops a super chat. He says, loving the sound effects. That's awesome. Thank you, Angelo. And you're the new super chat leader of the night. Hold on. New super chat leader of the night. Super chat leader. Angelo.
I'm planning on seeing the new Ghostbusters tomorrow. I could have a review on that.
Who you gonna call? Is that song in the movie? They gotta have that song in all the movies, right?
Movie. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a Ghostbuster movie.
You never saw the actual original Ghostbusters?
Nah.
It's pretty good. Ghostbusters is a pretty funny movie.
I want to give a movie review, but I don't think I've seen any movies.
No? I haven't seen any movies. Review Succession.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh, Succession last night?
No, I think we're good. We're done. That's it. That's all.
Fuck off.
Hey.
Sorry, I just wanted to hear that echo. I didn't mean that towards anyone.
Angelo, you are the super chat leader. You did it!
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
A winner is you.
All right, thanks everybody for watching. Thank you, Doug Hepburn. Thank you, Ray Cruz. Thank you, Angelo. You are the super chat leader, my friend. Doug Hepburn, thank you for the super chat. Thank you, everybody who is a member. Angelo, Ray, Doug, all my members. Shout out to my members. Shout out to everybody watching as well. We appreciate you. Appreciate you sitting through our sound effect games that we're playing. And, yeah. We will be back. I will be back on Wednesday after Dynamite in Chicago. So a big episode of Dynamite coming up Wednesday night. And then Thursday night with some MMA talk with Freddie and AJ. And there's no UFC on this weekend, so I'm sure we'll just be talking about AJ and whatever's going on in his life, which is always fun. And then Friday night, again, back at it with my main man, Johnny North, talking pro wrestling. After Smackdown, we'll be watching Rampage. And then we're off this weekend because there's no UFC or WWE this weekend, which is nice because it's been very busy for me over the past several weeks. I don't think I've had a weekend off in over a month, right? Because we had 2 UFC pay-per-views. We had UFC Watch-Along,
Full
Gear, Survivor Series. It's been over a month since I've had a weekend off. So Ringside Report Network is off this weekend, but still a very busy week after Dynamite. And then Thursday night at 8 for the MMA show. And then Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern after Smackdown.
Oh, wait, let's do that with the echo.
Hold on. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. If you have not liked the video already, like it, please. If you like it. If you don't like it, I mean, like it anyways. You know, no one's going to know. Okay. Hold on.
Wait.
The rated R Superstar Okay. See you Wednesday.